Welcome to CrossYoga Power and Escape Room. That is the theme. So in everyday life, when life gets boring or hard, we tend to escape somewhere. It might be on the internet looking for trips, travels. It might be looking a lot of Netflix or other kinds of videos online. It might be power shopping. It might be eating cakes and stuff. In my case, buying yoga pants. So we all have different escape rooms that we get to or escape to when things in lives get a little bit hard. And today we'll escape onto the yoga mat and into the open arms of Christ, welcoming us, running into his arms, standing there. So let's do that on the yoga mat today. So welcome to stand hip width distance in mountain pose. Hands or palms facing forward. Close your eyes. And instead of focusing on all the things that we can't have or are not able to at the moment or will not happen, picture Jesus or God or the Holy Spirit standing in front of you, throwing his arms out with a smile and saying, "Come, escape in my arms, in my comfort, in my love." And God is not physically visible, but maybe we can hug ourselves just to get that sensation of a warm, nice hug. So as we'll be moving on our mat today, we'll leave life a little bit behind or beside us and just play on the mat, sweating, breathing. Let's raise our arms up towards the sky, standing as tall as you can, maybe coming up on your toes, ball of the foot there. Rolling down again, leaning to one side and the other, almost like a tree in the wind, blowing both left and right. Keep a tight core. And then take your hands there down in front of your chest or your thighs and roll forward, taking it slow. Fingers on the mat and moving forth and back on the legs and the feet. You can use your Ujjayi breath if you like. Lift up right arm towards the sky, bent left knee, twisting. And fold forward. If you have a block, you can use that for your fingers here. Other side. Coming up and down. You can use your breath so that you inhale when you twist. And exhale when you fold forward. Just bend the knees just as much as you need. In escape rooms, at least those I know of, there is like a mystery you have to solve or you have to get out or something like that. But in this escape room today, we're escaping into the arms of God. And that's a good place. No mystery like that. There, just freedom, creativity, and all that we love to do. All right, moving into mountain pose again. Sun salutation, B. Sitting down in your chair, arms moving a little bit in front of your ears, shoulders down. Then lean forward, fingers on the mat. We'll get with a breath after the first round here. halfway lift, maybe bent further down in your knee. And then hands on the mat, step your feet back, move to plank pose. Stacking hands, elbows and shoulders, navel in. Coming down on your knees, trying to make your elbows move back towards your feet as you lower down. Low plank until you get to your belly. Baby cobra, lifting up your chest. Make sure those shoulders are down. Tuck the toes under, move back into downward facing dog. Right leg lifted up towards the sky and then step it through. Remember to lift fingers here on the right hands to make space. Warrior one. Back foot a little bit out to the side and lift up. Warrior one, closing your hip somewhat. Again, moving down, lift the heel off the mat, step it back, plank. On toes or knees, lower down with a straight spine. Cobra. And then your downward facing dog. Left leg, lift it towards the sky and step it to the front of the mat. And yet again. Warrior one. Raising the arms up, somewhat aligned with the ears, but thinking that our shoulders can be tucked back in that back pocket. Moving back to plank. To low plank. Cobra or up dog if you're ready for that, where the hip is off, either knees on the ground or knees off the ground. Back to down dog. Stepping your feet maybe a little bit closer. Take a few breaths here. Walking or jumping to the front end of the mat. Fold forward. Chair pose. And mountain, hands down by your side. Continuing with the breath. You can do it slower, faster than me. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plank to low plank. Now that you jump or walk back. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, a lot of things going on here. Plank to low plank, long exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg, inhale, lift. Exhaling, stepping it through, lower back, the back foot there. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, plank to low plank. Again, going for your up dog if you like. And down dog, exhale. Inhale, look to the front of the mat, walk or jump. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chair. And exhale, mountain pose. One more time to create heat. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, inhale. Plank, low plank, exhale. Cobra, up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right leg, lift, inhale. To the front, exhale. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, plank to low plank, or just find your down dog and not do the what we call chaturanga. Up dog and down dog. Left leg, inhale, lift. Exhale, move it through. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, yet again, plank to low plank. I hope you're getting warm now. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump or walk. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chair. Exhale, mountain. Close your eyes and maybe you catch your breath. With your breath, that's snoring. Exhale. Let's take our feet and toes completely together, or as much as we can, and then sit into our chair again. It's quite important that you actually use some energy to pull the knees together. And of course, sit as low as you want to today. Gathering your palms in front of you. Right arm moves to the left side without trying to get the knees too wide apart from each other. Palms strongly together and thumbs moving towards your chest. Moving into one of my favorite moves, right leg lift up and see if you can keep your balance and slowly move it back into high lunge position with the feet, but still with a twist. Space between each shoulder girdle. Letting go, let the hand come down on the mat. And maybe move just a tiny bit. Half moon. Left leg is the standing leg, so right foot up. Flex the foot and lift it as high as you can. And then maybe right arm reaches up as well. Stacking the hands and looking at the ground. Unless you want to be playful and look up. Or maybe just to the side. Have fun. Fingers on the ground again, close the hip, and make that foot move back to the back end of the mat again. Turn on the mat so you're doing a wide stand. Forward fold. So your forehead, your top of the head reaches towards the mat. Then walk your hands a little bit more to the front of the mat. Maybe you know what I mean, but take a look. So actually walking your hands to the long end of the mat, finding a plank with a wide distance in between your feet. If that's not doable, just close the distance in between your feet. Navel in. Breathe. Make sure the hip is not too low so you put a lot of pressure on the lower back. And walk your hands back. Again, wide stand on the mat. And then turn the mat onto the place where you're normally standing at the top end of the mat. Step the back foot to the front. Fold forward. Again, feet and toes together. Sit down in your chair. Spreading your fingers out. See if you can align knees and toes somewhat. Palms together. Make sure shoulders are down and they stay down as you twist this time to your right side. And there's no excuse for not breathing here, okay? It's a fundamental thing. We cannot be creative or do anything if we're not breathing. Moving here, left leg back, taking your time. Knee and ankle stacked above each other on the front foot as much as we can. And lifting the back heel off. Noticing if your shoulders are down. One more breath. And let go, fingers on the mat. Exhale if you need to. Again, half moon. So lift left leg up. Flex the foot so the toes point out to the side, almost like your feet's on warrior 2 position. Make sure your spine is somewhat in a horizontal line and maybe again lifting, this time left arm. Playing with lifting as high as you can, stretching as much as you can. Creating length in your chest. And then hands down on the mat again. Closing up the hip. And again, the foot, left foot this time, to the back end of the mat. Turning to wide stand on the mat.
the other way than we just did. I'm just going to turn the other way on my mat. Fold forward. Lift up your head again. And if it worked okay with your lower back before, once again, walk your hand into this plank pose, navel in. Now there's a lot of pressure on our hips, glutes and lower back, so make sure your core is really tight. Elbows micro bend. And breath, going as low down as we can, then now that we engage our core. Walk your hands back. Once again, turn on the mat so you face the front where you normally are, maybe looking at the screen. Fold forward when both feet are beside each other. And from here, mountain pose. We're going to explore and escape into different ways of using our arms with different shoulder stretches in different poses that we might be used to. So you can lift your right leg up. Maybe just stand here. And then take your right arm, left arm on top, and do your eagle arm, as I call this. Then take your right leg and move it back into warrior 3 with eagle arms. If it's too much, just do airplane instead with arms out to the side. So you lean forward, creating length from the back of your head through your spine to the heel. Two more breaths. Maybe you feel your hamstrings working hard. Ankle moving hard. If you feel a little bit uneasier, make sure to unwrap your hands before you lower down your right foot. Release the arms, open up your hip, which also means the back foot. You need to align that with the short end of the mat, moving into warrior 2. First, our arms go out to the side and shoulders down. And let's play with this one. So the front hand here, that must be left arm. Move it up and back so that your fingers are reaching in between your shoulder blades. The other hand, reach it behind you and maybe your fingers can reach. If not, just take this top hand here and make sure that to move the elbow down. Now the hardest part might be not to move your shoulders somewhat aligned with the short end of the mat, but actually creating length between your shoulder blades and the long end of the mat. Sinking deep in the front leg and lifting through the arch of the foot. Let go of your hands. Triangle pose. So extend the front leg. Maybe shorten the distance a little bit in between your feet. Move your hip back, not out to the side. And don't reach the floor. There's no need to reach the floor. The most important thing is you get a stretch on this side up towards the sky. Letting go. Hands on the mat. Lift the back heel off. Step it back. Downward facing dog and shake tension off. And moving into a little bit of push-ups. You can stay in your down dog if you're not into this. So plank. And let's do 5 triceps push-ups, which means we'll have our elbows somewhat by our ribs. Easier version will be on the knees. So slowly come down. And lift up. That was 1. 2. This is hard. 3. We want our mind to come off things. We need to work. 4. Just 2 more. 5. Come on, use those arms. 6. Downward facing dog. And then celebrate with a deep side out. Walk your feet to the front end of the mat and maybe shake the wrist a little bit. Mountain pose. And as we shake off tiredness, you might shake off bad habits that has become your escape room. It's fine to eat more cake. It's fine to watch more television. It's fine to do things. But we also know when it becomes too much. So buying a few extra pants might be okay. But not too many. All right, left leg, lift it up and bend the knee. Focus your gaze. This time, left elbow below, right on top, arms 1 or twice around. Take your shoulders down, take your hands away from your head, and then see if you can keep your balance as you move into your warrior 3. Slowly and steady. Toes pointing towards the ground. Take your shoulders down and away from your ears and keep staring really on the ground. And never mind if you can't keep your balance. It's all a part of life. And life on the yoga mat. Okay, lower down. Left foot, let go of the arms. And whatever way you want to do that. Warrior 2. Heels aligned, hips aligned with the heels, arms out. Top here, hand, or front hand, move back and between your shoulder blades. The other arm behind you. As I said before, just take a hold here and move your elbow a little bit down for a stretch on your tricep, if that works better. Squaring off the shoulders with the long end of the mat. Using your Ujjayi breath. Sinking a little bit lower, just the last 2 breaths. Release the hands. Triangle pose. Again, shorten the distance in between your feet if you like. Lean forward, hip, move it underneath yourself, or at least that's the way it works in my body. Looking down or up. And even without looking up, try to see if you can get your hand, that one that's lifted, stacked on top of your shoulders. And when you have done that, maybe take a look to see if it's actually somewhat stacked. Trying to use our bodily senses here. Letting go. Hands on the mat, back heel off, stave it back, down dog. And this time we'll do some other kind of exercise. We'll do planks on our elbows. So I would advise you to fold your mat once or twice for the sake of your elbows. Palms reaching down on the mat. Stay on your toes or your knees. Now your hip should be somewhat aligned with shoulders. And then we try to move our hip a little bit from side to side. Don't do this if you have any lower back issues. As we move here, avoid lifting the hip really high. You want to keep it stacked or aligned with the shoulders. but moving the left and right hip down. Almost like a reversed sling. Let's do 4. Coming out on the outer edge of your feet here. 3, 2, 1. Toenails on the ground. Sphinx pose. Not often I do that one, but now that we're here. Elbows still on the ground, fingers forward. And maybe you move a little bit closer to your elbows. Shoulders, roll them back. Kind of like somebody's pushing this middle part of your back down towards the mat. Squeezing your shoulder blades back towards your toes, tucking your chin in. So it's not a cobra. I would suggest that I feel shorter here than in cobra, where I try to create length. Let go. Tuck the toes under. Child's pose. Take your arms down by your side, forehead on the ground. Moving up again, hands to the front of the mat. And then we'll do the last sequence before we do a bit more core training. Down dog. Maybe feel like your heels can actually reach a little bit lower than they did before when we started. You're getting warm, which is why we can create that extra length. Let your chest sink a little bit lower in between your shoulders. And then right leg, lift it up. Open up the hip, but stay with your foot or your leg there straightened out. Point the toes. And then we do some small lifts here. Let's do 8 with this right leg. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Closing the hip off, step it to the front of the mat. High lunge. Reaching down, sinking low. Now try to put most of your weight here to the front end of the foot so that we engage our quads and our glutes and hamstrings as we do this next part. Lifting up slowly and sinking down and go low. Okay. It's okay to bend this back knee if that makes more sense to you. We're preparing strength and not so much a stretch on the hip flexor. So let's go for 6. 5. Looking at the ground somewhere in front of you. 4. Going deep. 3. Not rushing this. 2. And 1. Hands on the mat, step back. Down dog, optional vinyasa. Inhale to your plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's just do that on the other side. Left leg, lift up. Open up the hips, so trying to stack the hips there. Point the toe. Feeling a lot of heat going on in your left glute buttocks. And then we do those small lifts. 8, 7, 6, 5, navel in a little bit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, closing the hip, knee underneath your belly, and move it to the front of the mat. Make sure knee and ankle are stacked upon each other. High lunge. Shoulders down, and let's do this together. So lift up your right leg, your left leg, stretch it, and move down. Going low, as again, maybe you want to bend this knee a little bit. Pushing, lifting through the front heel. So, 5. Lots of balance here as well, maybe you feel that. 4. Breathe deeply. 3. 2. You've got this. Awesome. 1. Again, step back. Down dog, optional. Vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down, taking your time. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then a little bit more core exercise. Move to plank. And this is a pose that is not fun, but it's cool. Let's do a low plank for just a few breaths. Please come down on your knees if your core and your arms are not really ready for this yet. Elbows somewhat by your ribs, lower down, and try to see if you can hover over the floor as I count for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your hands down by your side and look to your left side. Next pose is bow pose. Bend the knee, 90-degree angle, flex the feet. Lift up here, and maybe bow pose will just be here for you. If you can reach your ankles, go ahead and do that. Make sure you flex the feet, not holding onto the feet there, the ankle. Kicking your ankles into your hands as you lift knees off, somewhat chest off, huge smiley. God's face here on your back. It's okay to have a little bit more distance in between your knees and hip width. That's easier for your hips and lower back. Release slowly. Hands again by your side, palms facing up. And now look to your right side, getting a neck stretch. Look towards the ground. Take your hands not underneath your shoulder, but a little bit further back towards your feet. Again, elbows in, tuck the toes under. Shoulders away from the ears. Are you ready to lift into plank pose? On your knees and toes. 1, 2, 3, go. That's a powerful move. Back into down dog. And if you can jump through, that's what you will do now. If you can't, just jump and cross your legs here at the top end of the mat. And then voila, you're down, seated on the mat. And we'll not do the traditional boat pose. Just want to mix it up a little bit more. So feet off the mat, toes pointing up towards the sky. Make sure you don't have your feet here over your face, over the hip. Then lift your hip up. Just an inch or a few centimeters, if at all, just a little bit. And move your hip slowly, gently from side to side, twisting your hip. This is a powerful move for your lower abdomen. Remember to breathe, and if this is not enough, you can lift higher maybe, or even taking your hands behind your head, engaging the six-pack. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's relax quickly. Hands out to the side, like in a cross shape. Inhale and open your mouth and exhale. Practicing that work and being off balance. Just a few stretches. Right leg on top or lift it up. Take a hold of, that can be your knee, your toes, or if you can reach somewhere in between, go for that. Stretching the hamstrings. Now escaping. As I said before, sometimes good and healing and great. But sometimes it's just trying to solve a deeper issue that we need to look at. So escaping into Christ is not only escaping away from things, but also escaping safely into opening up whatever reason we have for escaping. Let go. And switch your leg. So your reasons, if you're looking at this pretty much when it's recorded, it might be COVID-19, tiredness of restrictions and opportunities you can't have. So maybe you ask Jesus, so what are my options right now? What opportunities do I have if I can't get what I really love and I used to? God, what can you give me instead? How can I serve you, God, instead of how I used to? Let go. Butterfly pose. Sole of the feet together, knees out to the side. If your hands can reach the inner thighs to create a little bit more depth and strength in the stretch, go ahead and do that. Here in Denmark in December when things closed down, I asked God, so God, what do you want me to use this time for? I like adventures. I like stepping out, learning new things. That's how I roll. And I just felt God was calling me to do this online training that we're now offering. You can look at the website if you want to become a yoga instructor. It's not about advertising for that. But that's been the adventure for me, that God showed me, hey, this is your thing now. And that's been such a blessing to have the time, opportunity to do that. So when God closes some doors, He opens others. Resting pose. 1 minute on the mat. I have my timer. Toes out to the side, hands on the mat, or even out in the cross shape if you want to surrender. Close your eyes. Inhale, and as you open your mouth and exhale, make that whole body relax with your exhale. Eyes gently closed. Falling into the arms of love. No condemnation. 1 minute goes by fast, so stay on the mat if you want to stay more. It's probably really good for you. Maybe that's what you need. But if you're ready to sit up after moving toes and fingers, come into seated pose. And finish with just one sentence prayer. God, may we escape into your arms of love. Amen. I'm so glad that you joined this video today. I just want to say there are so many videos on this channel, and sometimes people are a little bit confused about how to find them. So find the folder or the link playlist, and there you'll find all the different types, like slow, power, restorative, or relaxed and slow, yoga in Danish, yoga for teens, lots of different things. So make sure you check out the playlists somewhere on the channel. Blessings on your path, and thank you for subscribing and all that.